time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but first time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BDElite.
Hello!
Hello, hello, hello!
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman for UpNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. But this is BDElite, and we are live.
Sorry, BDEE?
Oh, BDElite. Right, no.
BDElite.
BDElite.
There we go.
That's what we are. We are the BDE, and this is BDElite live on Twitch.
Live on Twitch, just about. We're here.
We finally made it.
We're finally here.
We finally made it. Yeah, we're a little later this evening because I blame TSN.
I blame that damn Roti.
Yeah, so we live above this Roti place that we keep having to see, and we had to just check it out for Dynamite tonight. So I geared it all up to be ready right at, like they said, 20 minutes. I was like, cool. So that means I have 5 minutes to come upstairs. It's just downstairs to go get this Roti. But then when I get there, I could hear.
Sorry, what's going on? I don't know why that was weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I go downstairs and I'm trying to get this Roti and I'm trying to make sure I make it on time. But the girl working is like, yep, you have this order, and I pay for it, and then I can hear the chef go, here it is, and then I can hear her bagging it, and she goes, there's supposed to be two, and then she just proceeds to just like ream him out, like yelling at him and all sorts of things I don't understand but do, and then they quickly had to make our order. So therefore, I was texting you upstairs, wait, pause, what's starting the show? What's starting Dynamite? And you said Yuji Nagata and Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
So I said, can you just pause it? Because we live in 2021. You figure you could just pause things with these like crazy technology. So we do. I get my Roti, finally. Go upstairs. Press play. It only lets us watch live.
Yeah, like why pause it if it's going to resume from live anyway? You would think it would.
Yeah, the TSN, we are good Samaritans, and we decide to pay for our TV subscriptions and stuff, and in the end it bites us in the ass because I don't remember having this issue when I was using other means. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, you can't pause.
You can't pause?
No.
Are you sure?
No, it does the same weird thing.
Okay.
It will let you stop it and then it will just continue.
We're complaining because we're like millennials who don't have actual cable, but we essentially pay for cable by paying all the other things like the Crave.
Pay TSN and
we pay for it. Yeah, it should work. It was super annoying. So then we had to kind of wait to kind of catch up, and we eventually did, and that's why we're here. But I will say the lamb madras Roti was worth it.
It was lovely. Yeah, very nice.
So, I mean, it was good. Yuji Nagata and Moxley was worth the waiting for, too.
It was worth the wait, yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know now. It's like 10 to 11, and we've only just started, so I can't say I was that thrilled about it. But, yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, so we are your NXT friends, and we always will be on Tuesday nights. But here on Wednesdays, we will be your Dynamates.
We're your Dynamite.
And we'll be talking all about Dynamite. We've mentioned we have a Patreon, and I don't know if you follow the Twitter at UpNXT Podcast, but I put out a tweet today saying that this month has officially been our highest grossing Patreon month because a few people today, past few days, signed up to be World Champ patrons, which is just over the moon craziness.
Yeah, shout out Maddie B, who's in the room right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Andre from Edmonton, I believe, as well.
Oh, that rhymes.
Yeah, so awesome.
That's crazy. I thank everyone for supporting us. Again, we are proudly supported by our Patreon, and that's where you go for World Champ status if you want to come on Up Yours and pick stuff for us to review and join us in watch-alongs and get access to Behind the BDE. But North American tier gets you access to all the good stuff. What's Next, Best Match Ever, all the shows, and we can't thank you guys enough. So we mentioned we just moved. We're in the BDE Tower, and the Patreon is like, we're doing good. We're doing good things.
We're doing good.
When you guys show us that we all this hard work goes to good things.
Yeah, and can't wait to talk about all these shows that we have lined up with these world champs.
Yeah, there's some interesting picks. World champs go all over the place. We've done like Catwoman, we've done Godfather, we've done Bloodsport, we've done all sorts. We just did the Outsiders recently.
We did.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
We've had more Tom Green selected. I've seen Stealing Harvard's coming up.
Stealing Harvard.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I don't know if is that as wild as Freddie Got Fingered?
No.
I
mean, what is? Nothing is.
Pee-wee. Got Gary Glenn Ross coming up. The Watchmen. Blood Moon starring Rob Van Dam.
Not Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Not Jean-Claude
You mentioned
Van
this
Damme.
to me today, and I got so excited, and you had to tell me it was the...
Yeah, no, I did the same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, no, another Jean-Claude Van Damme film.
Yeah.
And then, wait, Rob?
Yeah.
Did a double take. But, yeah, very exciting stuff.
So World Champ patrons pick stuff, and we invite them on, and then we talk all about it and stuff. And we've had some great shows. And, the second Tom Green one's going to be nuts. Wei Ting's going to be mad. He's going to want to join in on the show.
Yeah.
So we have Up Yours coming out with Brandon from New Jersey talking about his pick, Samurai Cop. We'll have that out this weekend. This weekend as well. Well, I'm probably going to put it out tomorrow because we recorded it today, actually. A review from the 6 talking all about Backlash 2001. 20 years ago, Backlash 2001.
Yeah.
The two-man power trip, Stone Cold Triple H versus the Brothers of Destruction. All the gold match. All the power match.
All the power, all the gold.
All the glitters is gold.
No power, no gold. But
That's it.
we all know what the real main event of that night was.
Of course.
Yeah. What one am I going to say?
There goes two.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a few. You could say the ultimate submission match between Chris and Kurt Angle.
You could say that. You could say Shane O'Mac versus The Big Show.
You could.
In a how to actually fall from something high.
It's the Shane spot, I'd
Yes.
say. Yeah, we talk all
match.
about this.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Looking forward for you to hear that.
We also go off on tangents about Spike Dudley and WWE theme song CDs.
Yes.
Including Forcible Entry and all that stuff that, I've said too much. But yeah, that's on the Backlash show coming out, I'd say tomorrow night. I'll put it out. And then this weekend, live on Twitch, a WWE WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh, yes.
Watch along and post show featuring us and some of our world champs, I think.
Yep, we'll be having, as always, some of our world champs on the watch along and invite all of you to join the Twitch room. They're always a lot of fun. And yeah, our first WWE watch along from the new place. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
We're gonna put cameras on the couch.
Yeah,
just hang out,
just chill.
Come hang out and be in the BDE.
Absolutely.
The BDE 2, the BDE Tower. We're still working. We call it all sorts of things.
Yes.
Because remember, we're all the BDE.
We're all BDE.
Yeah, that's right. So we've been doing all the different shows, and another quick plug for next Thursday, we're gonna be doing a live Twitch where we record a free Best Match Ever, Hana Kimura.
Yes.
So look for the Twitch, and if you miss any of this, it'll be out on the free feed as well there. So a Best Match Ever for Hana Kimura, out on the 1-year anniversary of her passing last year. So we're going to be talking to WH Park, who knows all about Stardom and where she was wrestling.
I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these matches. Seen a bit, but definitely would like to watch a lot more.
For sure.
So it should be good.
So yeah, all the different podcasts all over the place, so many different shows, and of course, again, $5 North American tier gets you everything we've ever done, all the back shows, all the crazy stuff. And
yes.
I feel like we watch so much wrestling, and then we move to a new place, and we're still just watching wrestling, but I just love wrestling.
You love wrestling.
I just want to say. That's why I fucking do so many shows.
That's nice. It's nice that you still love wrestling.
I was gonna try to get my vaccine today, and I was like, I apparently I can't, even though I'm technically essential because I work also at a TV station, and wrestling podcasts are very essential. But I also have asthma. So you'd figure I have puffers. I have 2 different puffers. I should probably...
You should maybe stop smoking then.
Yeah, it's true. I should
Don't pick and choose when you want asthma.
I feel like I should get it, but I'm also I'd rather do what you mentioned, how you got to go a walk-in thing. So I'm gonna still eye and try to do it, but that just made me think. I'm like, man, I was listening to Dave Chappelle podcast, and I was like, man, he's so happy that we just kind of survived this. And I'm like, man, this whole time wrestling's been going on, and they've still been doing shows, and we just keep shitting on everything they put out. But it's at least we still had wrestling. So
for sure.
That's what I'm kind of meaning. I'm like, and tonight was an interesting show to be talking about too. AEW,
as always,
because we were pretty negative last week, I think, for Blood and Guts.
It wasn't my favorite Dynamite. Yeah, for sure.
Because I saw mixed reactions afterwards. Some people were pretty high up on it, and I feel like maybe we kind of were pretty maybe too mean on it. But overall, I still can't get over it. We're going to be talking about Backlash 2001. There's a spot where Shane jumps off something, and it's 20 years ago, and it looks 10 times better than what AEW did last week. That's just my opinion, but I still thought the match was fun and it felt special, but still something was just a little off for me. But your main event last week was QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes.
It was, 100%.
You just love
anything
QT.
with QT. Yeah. That's why this tonight just didn't hit for me.
Oh, it didn't hit for you?
No QT.
Because no QT, yeah. Well, there was another QT on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who are we talking about? Yuji Nagata? I think he's a bit of a QT.
QT Nagata?
I miss Yuji.
Yuji?
Our coffee guy, our barista.
Yeah, tell people about Yuji.
Yeah, we had the coffee shop right around the corner from the old BDE. Had a guy who ran it called Yuji, and used to make my coffee every morning, give me a big smile. Made me feel better about the world. Yeah. Miss him.
Yeah.
Coffee round here, I haven't found one quite as good as our old place yet.
Right.
But we got windows, so swings and roundabouts, You
can't win them all.
Yeah. What QT were you talking about?
Yuji Nagata.
Yuji Nagata, okay.
Let's talk about AEW Dynamite from Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. And we start off with a Yuji Nagata, who is the challenger for Jon Moxley's IWGP
United States Championship.
All right.
Yeah.
Try to keep up, because there's so many titles. I figured this is just another way to get this title.
They're trying to get rid of some, aren't they? They've already put 2 together.
Yeah, not the right one. Oh, man, I hate that belt. This is the better belt. This belt looks way better than their new belt, their new title.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So Yuji Nagata is ready for his match. Blue Justice. He is a New Japan legend. Excalibur is just nerding out over here, gushing over how important this guy is, and how he wrestled many years ago once on TNT, where Tony Schiavone mentioned, and I believe it's the Ultimo Dragon, which
had a series of matches.
Yeah, they had some bangers actually. Yeah, definitely. So he's been on this station before, and years later, here he comes as a talent exchange here, the Forbidden Door with New Japan. So that's pretty awesome and pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
And wasn't it last year Yuji and Suzuki
had such a New Japan Cup?
Yeah, it's just them beating.
It was the best of the empty arena
for sure.
The complete no crowd matches.
Yeah,
I thought
it was one of their first. Yeah, that was really interesting. So I'm kind of excited to see this match, and Moxley was the one who probably asked for this match.
I can imagine they gave him all right, here's a few guys we got, who would you like? And I can imagine him picking Nagata for sure.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter that apparently, he said that Moxley was saying that a lot of wrestlers were texting him oh, you get to fight him, that's awesome. So what wrestlers do you think were
you said it was from all companies?
He said, yeah, apparently. I don't know. I saw Renee Young tweeting about this and Moxley tweeting.
I'm imagining...
who was oh, Mox, I'm so upset that you get to wrestle Nagata. That's awesome.
Eva Marie.
Yeah, Baron Corbin. Randy Orton.
It's
you're fighting Yuji Nagata? Yeah. Not Daniel Bryan. or
No.
Seth.
No.
No, none of those. I don't know who.
I don't feel Seth now at this point. He's such a
No,
WWE.
he's busy working
mark,
for
isn't he?
the best professional wrestling on the planet. That's,
he is.
That's
yeah.
what he's busy doing,
Absolutely.
working for. So yeah, I think it's quite interesting. I like the Forbidden Door stuff. I know we're not covering deep. You're not doing Deep Impact as much, but I know that they're doing.
They've had El Phantasmo there. They've got Finjuice are the tag team champions.
Right.
In Impact right now, who are obviously in New Japan as well. So we're seeing that door swinging both ways quite a bit now.
Yeah. I'm seeing in the Twitch chat, Fire Frank is in the chat. He says Yuji Nagata was his go-to guy to use in Revenge on N64.
Oh, nice.
Does that mean I got to bust out Revenge? Because I got
Have you
N64.
got Revenge?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I got
let's
it.
play it.
I'm pretty sure
Let's
I have
do
2 WCW N64 games. I don't know which ones.
2 WCW one. There was Mayhem. There
Yeah.
was Backstage Brawl.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
don't
one?
have that one.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Revenge is the main one.
Yeah, I have
Revenge is
Revenge.
like the No Mercy.
I have No Mercy and Revenge, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
definitely. So, yeah, that's crazy. The dude was in N64 game, and here he is years later in a different company on TNT. It's insane. We go to the United States title on the line here in the Forbidden Door. The first time this title's not seen on TV because we've seen it, but the first time it's defended here in a different company on AEW. So Moxley, Yuji Nagata comes out first, the challenger, Blue Justice. Excalibur mentions he's like helped train so many legends. He mentioned Tanahashi and Okada at some point and all sorts of crazy things that this guy's done. And then out comes the champion, Jon Moxley, to a new theme song. Wild Thing.
Yeah.
The OG Wild Thing.
Another Moxley callback to Anita, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did the best death match ever where we talked about Onita and the exploding barbed wire with Terry Funk with Damian Abraham.
Yes.
And he ridiculed me for mentioning that I liked the Wild Thing by the artist known as Prozac over but this version is Wild Thing from the Trogs. This is the OG version of Wild Thing.
Yeah, this one I know.
Yeah, this is like the classic one. And Jon Moxley coming out to this. What do you think of this?
I mean, I like the song. I don't know if the energy suits the Moxley I'm used to. I quite like his sort of like frantic music he often comes out to, but maybe it will grow. Like, I love this song, and I think works for Anita so well, but it's quite jarring having him coming out to it today. But I think it could stick, and it will. It's obviously going to be more memorable after a while.
Yeah, and I know they're going to be doing shows with crowds. That's going to sound crazy with people singing this song. I think it's an awesome song. They also worked out the proper bit. Justin Roberts and him worked out because there's a part of the song after the main hook and whatever when he's coming into the ring and it kind of gets really quiet. It's part of the song. It dips down and there's like less singing. Justin Roberts then does the John and like builds it, and then we call that hitting the post in the world of radio. Where right before the vocals come back in, you finish what you were doing, so then it hits. So they clearly like Justin's a professional.
He is. He's
Justin
good.
Roberts. So this entrance was awesome. Honestly, he was totally going for the Onita vibe with the whole like coming out. He always comes out of the side, but he's coming out with Kingston on his side here, just looking total badass as usual.
What? Wasn't wearing his Onita jacket though this time, was he?
No, he should have been.
Yeah, he should have been.
Yeah, the leather jacket. Speaking of Onita, we're talking about the death match ever. It looks like we'll have to do another best death match ever in the near future because you heard about Onita, right?
No, what's happened?
FMWE.
Okay.
His new Fed.
Right.
Which is he's putting on a show this summer apparently.
Okay.
Allegedly. Could get my facts wrong here. But he's doing a new electric barbed wire death match.
Oh, God.
He's going to show the world how to do it properly.
How to do it. Cool. Yeah. I'm down.
All right. Okay. That's what I was trying to ask. Are we going to cover if this ever does happen? I saw that he's been tweeting about it. It's coming back.
Interesting.
So, yeah. I feel like we're experts after that show with Damien.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Me and you know everything because of Damian Abraham explaining Onita and death matches. But, yeah, if that's a thing, then crazy. But back to AEW, Yuji Nagata, Jon Moxley, The Wild Thing. This match is contested under New Japan rules, meaning the 20 count, which we were all wondering if they were going to do that. Hell yeah.
Which they didn't end up using at all, did they?
Yeah. Hey, another person from New Japan's here, Rocky Romero.
Yeah, Rocky's in the crowd.
Who's hanging out in the crowd there. Very interesting. This match starts off, and both guys just start striking each other right away with forearms. Moxley uses an eye rake early on. I guess he's got to show that he's a mean son of a bitch. There's then Moxley kind of doing the kicks to him. That's kind of Nagata's specialty. These like Daniel Bryan-esque kicks here. So Nagata fires back with of his own, and then a crazy boot to the face in the corner, and an exploder. There's then a fake out where he then drop kicks Moxley into the knee. There's a lariat for a 2 count, and then an exploder off the top. Moxley gives him the bird, but then he gets kicked in the face for a 2 count. There's then I think Excalibur calls it the Shirome arm breaker. And this guy starts to just like freak out. The intensity in this guy's face is like, yeah, he's 53 years old, Yuji Nagata, but the intensity was still here for this guy, going crazy. Moxley eventually gets some offense back in here with like the sliding lunatic lariat. So it's clearly the Tomohiro Ishii sliding lariat, but he does the like lunatic thing into the ropes. You know, I don't know what the name of that thing is.
It's a lunatic.
I call it that. Well, yeah, he hits that for a near fall. He picks up Yuji, hits him with the Death Rider or the Paradigm Shift, and he pins him. The champ retains. Wild thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think Nagata still looks great, even at 53. I thought he looked great. It felt like a New Japan style match as well, with a lot of forearms, heavy hitting. I also like how it kind of felt like a history lesson. Like if you're tuning into this and you're maybe not familiar with New Japan and stuff like that, I think the way it was presented with Excalibur especially, like Excalibur and Tony kind of giving you these lessons about who this guy is, what New Japan is, the different styles and stuff. I actually found it quite educational in a way.
For sure.
Whereas we go back and watch some of these old WCW pay-per-views where you have Mike Tenay trying to do that and then Bobby Heenan's just there drunk laughing at these guys with silly names. You know, I thought this was presented in a really good way.
Yeah, that is true. We have done some classic WCW reviews this past year, and there's a few times, whether it be like the Japanese imports or the Mexican Lucha Libre guys that they bring in, and the commentary would like just talk about Hulk Hogan the whole match, or talk about how these guys are from Mexico.
Sometimes it would be the best match on the card as well.
Oh, it would always be the best match at the card, yeah. And they were always but sometimes very disrespectful in a way. And then now, years later, the Excalibur, I know, you like I said, you can call him a nerd, but I would love to hang out with this guy as much as, you know, everyone makes fun of this guy for knowing everything in wrestling, because he fucking does. Yeah. It's crazy. The knowledge. Obviously, he's on commentary. He's getting notes for this. He's prepping, I imagine, for this, but it genuinely just sounds like he knows everything.
Because I feel there must be people who like don't know as much as us and probably a lot of you listening.
Yeah.
And are just flicking through and watching this, and you'll go, "Who's this old tubby guy?" You know, like, I've never seen this guy on Dynamite before. Who's this guy? And I thought they did a great job of selling exactly who he is. And he did a great job of the match. I thought he was great in this.
Yeah, it felt great. It felt like this perfect TV match that felt different and unique. It felt like, it's someone from a different company. We're going to do it on this show for a different title. This guy's one of our stars, too. It's like this weird crossover. It feels like what WCW or WWF used to do with talent exchanges and stuff, but it felt really special.
They were selling the title as well by saying this is a title Kenny's held, Cody's held, Lance Archer's held. Like, all these people that are in AEW have held this title. So, made it feel like a big deal.
I want to see more Yuji.
Yeah.
I want to see more New Japan stuff like this, if this is like the kind of the crossover. If the Kenny is feuding now, well, obviously he's got a title match at the pay-per-view that has nothing to do with Moxley. It'd be funny if they were to like dabble with Kenny collecting more belts. Just saying, there's one right there that Moxley has.
US.
There's so many different avenues, but yeah. And New Japan itself, I've been kind of down on lately, and it's not necessarily maybe because of like. I'm a big fan of Will Ospreay and the work he's done. The character doesn't really work, but I'm not watching all the shows because they're like recycling everything. It's like they're trying to be WWE or something. It's really weird what they've been doing.
It's got stale.
Yeah, it's gone so stale.
I watched the Shingo Ospreay match, but
it was good.
It was a really good match.
Yeah.
But I'm just very checked out of it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and it
maybe it'll pick up. G1 is often a good time to like get reinvested, but yeah, I just feel it the mix feels pretty stale there.
It feels like they don't have something's not like fitting in the stories of what's going on. But I think you could, obviously it sucks because it's a pandemic. You can't have people coming and going and as often. But
we've been in this a while now.
Yeah, I guess.
I think we got to
Eugene
move
Nagata made it
move
here.
on from that excuse.
Eugene made it, so I mean, other people can make it. Yeah, I want to see more crossovers, but as long as it is good for everyone,
for sure,
essentially. Yeah. But yeah, I want to get back into Japan, but they haven't done anything, and I know they're canceling some shows, which is probably for the best. But overall, I thought this was a fun match. Obviously, you knew Moxley was going to win it.
They had a nice show of respect afterwards.
Yeah.
Kind of Moxley bowing down to the mat, which is pretty cool.
We go to Alex Marvez backstage with some of the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, and Ortiz. They say, Pinnacle, we had you beaten, we had you bloody, and in a twist of fate, you got us, but you used bitch moves. Santana used the fork and tried to stab you, and that's why did they say he was arrested?
He's in prison.
He's arrested.
He's in jail.
Santana's been arrested for using a fork on TNT in a wrestling match. But if it was me, I would use the fork and stab your eye and eat it, says Ortiz. So you're going to have to kill us because you can hide behind your victory, but you failed. We want another match. And they're saying, like, we're not done with you, Inner Circle. Yeah.
I think this was Jake Hager's best promo ever.
No, it was not.
No, I'm being serious. Can you name me a better Jake Hager promo?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the bar's high.
The one where he quotes Mark Wahlberg from The Departed.
No, I thought he sounded pretty good here, and I'm not a fan of him on the mic usually. But no, I thought these guys sounded good. I'm just we'll be circling back to the Inner Circle.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, we go to Cody Rhodes.
Oh, God.
He comes out. He's talking about America. I think he says, "Look, I'm an American, and we got elections." He just starts using buzzwords.
I know there are reasons to make fun of America. We've got a flawed two-party state. We've got the shit with our last president. There's a lot that you can make fun of about America. But I'm proud to be American.
Just to make sure we're all getting the facts straight. He did not say former president. He's probably talking about the current one. It's Cody.
Yeah.
He says that he bleeds red, white, and blue, and apparently Anthony Ogogo hates USA. He hates it. But that's funny because how does Anthony Ogogo have a visa here? He's using our American system, our American money. That's freedom. That's America. Cody Rhodes just starts doing the whole car salesman trick here. He says the argument is what makes us who we are here in America. Our empathy outweighs our anger. You didn't come here to live the England dream. No. I know all about the UK. I don't want to disrespect my friends across the pond. I respect and grew up loving wrestlers and all sorts of wrestlers like Doug Williams, Gabriel Kidd, or Pac. But this industry was based around an Italian American who was champion for over 4,000 days, and just starts mentioning Bruno Sammartino here. The dream lives here. And I could be wrong here. Does he mention a 16-year-old Pakistan?
I don't know. He mentioned a lot.
Someone who created the car bumper? I'm not sure what he was talking about here.
Yeah.
I got a little lost. He was just rambling. But I've always said what I said about Cody Rhodes. He could probably read the phone book and still sell me on anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, he continues and talks about how Atlanta used to have segregated schools, but now he's about to have a daughter with his wife who will be half black, half white, but full American princess, and he wants her to know one day that he didn't lie down under someone else's flag. And, well, I am going to fight Anthony Ogogo at Double or Nothing, and I'm not showing up Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo, the American Nightmare, for one night only, since we own the name, and it belongs to me and Dustin. Justin Roberts, I'm going to need your help, because at Double or Nothing, it's going to be Anthony Ogogo versus Cody Rhodes, the American Dream. Then the Snoop Dogg music plays.
I
America!
hated this. It's so. It's
USA.
Jeez, aren't we over? Like, haven't we moved on from this? Like, I feel wrestling's such a worldwide thing now, and like, as a Brit living in Canada, I don't fucking care if you're doing this for your country. Like, I find patriotism. I mean, that's another story, but so like stupid,
Right.
and especially like here. I hated this.
Oh, man.
It was just going all over the place. Like, okay, he kind of brought it all together at the end, being the American dream and his dad and stuff, but this sucked. I really didn't like this at all.
It's weird. He's such a good talker. Like, he genuinely, like I said, he could say anything, and it's the way he says it. Like, he sounds like high-end politicians because of the way he like presents himself and the way he speaks. Here, it's like, it's just weird because he goes from bringing up like segregated schools and his future baby, and then I want this match with I'm gonna get this match with. It's like that's such a. It's kind of. It's kind of a con, but
he's very masturbatory for me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He just goes out and you feel like he's just loving all these words coming out of his mouth, and I like Cody, but this was just too much for me.
I can't say I hated this, to be honest. Like, it made me laugh, and like that's what I keep saying is like, this guy is not a baby face. He's the biggest fucking heel in wrestling, and it makes me laugh. I think
this just felt like Vince wrote it. It felt like a Vince McMahon thing from like the 80s.
I can't say I loved it, but it made me laugh. So maybe I wasn't supposed to laugh at it, but it was definitely something I was like, wait, what? But then to tie it all around to be the American dream, I was like, fuck, you did it again, you fucking bastard. You're so good at talking. I could be on my own island here because I know Cody got a lot of Cody haters, but like he's a good promo. I'm sorry, like the way he talks is so good.
But like sometimes it is. Like you said, he sounds like a politician at times because sometimes he says a lot without really saying a great deal.
Yeah. So you're saying you hate America?
Well, I've got to go for my boy Anthony Gogo. Not only is he one of mine, he's one of Cutie's.
So you're really behind Anthony.
Behind him. Especially after this promo. I'm all in. That was a heel turn from me for Cody.
Maybe that's why you hated it, because he's shitting on you.
That really turned me off.
I like that. You should.
No, I just hate it in general. Like anytime you get kind of country v country, because it's always USA the babyface, always. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm so over it.
I'm just not over how they pro wrestling did Muhammad Hassan dirty. See, there's patriotism gone wrong in wrestling right there. Again, I love Cody in this weird way, but maybe it's not supposed to make me feel that way, but it does. I don't know. It's weird. I am interested in this match.
Oh yeah, I'm quite.
At first, I was like,
what a Gogo can do.
Yeah, at first I'm like, but then I'm like, maybe that's a good hook. That's a good pay-per-view.
I think the thing to realize is in the UK this could be a pretty big thing,
right?
Because Anthony Gogo's he's a name.
Yeah.
I think that's the aim, to try and get people in the UK to buy this pay-per-view.
With QT. It's going to be lit.
QT's not in the match.
Well, he's going to be at ringside. With Anthony Gogo, he's coming out. He's going to be on pay-per-view.
So you're saying the UK are going to buy the match because QT
100%.
Marshall's at ringside?
No, but the world's going to...
I mean, I'm buying it for that reason, but...
The Brits are going to learn, like, oh, if this guy's helping Anthony, then, like, we like this guy. So he's going to be, like, he's going to get, like, knighted soon or something.
Maybe.
QT.
Maybe. Will the UK start eating apples again?
It's too late for that. STU.
I don't know what that means.
Something to do with British people and teeth. I don't know.
What's teeth got to do with apples?
They keep the dentists away or the doctors away or something like that.
It's not with sugar and stuff.
Apples. Dude, I like to cut my apples.
You like to cut your apples?
Yeah.
Do you have a knife that you cut it with? Are you one of those guys?
Like the guy from Dennis the Menace?
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't done that, but that movie definitely made me go, oh, I want to do that.
Oh, yeah. You see it in films all the time. In plays. Like, people just like cutting apples with knives.
It makes you, like, scary.
Yeah.
Like you're a criminal. Like a villain. Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. We go
America!
Only in America can you cut apples like that. We go to SCU, a video for them, and they are going to have one last match if they lose this. So if they lose this match against the Bucks for the titles, they have to disband.
Yes.
SCU is no more. Kaz and
Done
Daniels.
forever.
So it's got a little video here kind of highlighting this story that they've been doing with them not, like, been on this roll, like undefeated essentially, because they said they're doing the Ric Flair. They're doing if we lose, we stop.
We're done.
So
yeah.
that's what it's been about. So these guys have wrestled here in AEW. I think they said 12 times they fought, or is that insane?
No, not in AEW. In total, they fought 12 times, and it's 6 apiece.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's just probably 2-on-2 because they've done millions.
So many 6-mans.
Yeah, they've mentioned that they've wrestled over.
Them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen them in multiple.
SCU versus the Elite, didn't we?
Yeah. I've definitely seen it multiple times. And Excalibur's like, yeah, these guys know each other so well. The reason they're here is, like, they mentioned that they're like friends in real life and everything, but now the Bucks are bad guys. So SCU versus the Bucks. If they lose, they have to retire. But if they win, they get the titles. The Bucks come out in some new gear, of course, the new shoes. These ones weren't Dior's, so I wasn't as impressed, but they still look nice.
They look nice.
Yeah, they looked really nice. The Bucks versus SCU. It starts off with SCU gaining advantage early with this like back suplex lariat combo. They're hitting all their classic double team maneuvers here, but the Bucks finally gain advantage on Daniels and start to isolate him in the corner. Nick does this like rope trick counter, but then ends up from the like STO kind of Uranagi from Daniels, one of his patented moves. Kaz is in with a leg drop off the ropes for a 2 count. There's then a Blue Thunder Bomb neck breaker combo for a near fall. Nick starts to fuck both of the guys up with the Nick Jackson tag, but now it's the heel Nick Jackson hot tag, so he calms it down a little bit. He doesn't do crazy like torpedo corkscrews and stuff. He's doing PKs to the face. There's then a super kick to Daniels on the outside that squishes himself and his head between the sole of the Young Bucks' feet and the ring post.
Yes.
And then when the camera turns away for just a second, comes back and Daniels is bleeding
everywhere.
Oh my god, blood and guts.
Yeah, he was jealous of last week. He was like, I want to do that.
Wow, there was a lot of blood.
I want
to
be in the pinnacle.
The fallen angel, he's bleeding here. He's like just laid out essentially. He's like, I'm not wrestling in this match anymore. Daniels looks over, Kaz looks over, sees his partner, is like, holy shit, like that's insane. But maintains his composure and then hits a Styles clash. Another callback to AJ Styles TNA days and stuff, because these guys all hung around together. But it's only a near fall. There's then a spot where Matt Jackson dives. He was thrown out of the ring, and now he's diving through the ropes to get into the ring to break up the pin, which was crazy. I don't think I've seen that. Because the entrance ramp is leveled. He can run through and do a suicide dive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a tombstone on Kaz, but then Daniels comes back in and hits an angel's wing for a near fall. Daniels can't even see because there's so much blood, and there's a spot where he's like beat up, and the blood is just dripping all over him. It's all over Matt Jackson as well, and then it drips onto the shoes of Matt Jackson. So he grabs Daniels, and then he looks down at his shoes, and he's like, Do you see what you've done to my shoes?
And Callis on commentary was like, that's disgusting.
He got blood on his shoes.
Disrespectful. How dare he do that to his shoes?
How dare he bleed on his shoes? And Daniel's just dead. And then he's getting up just on his knees. And it cuts to Matt Jackson, who goes, I'm sorry. I love you, and hits him with the super kick.
He's doing all these over the top crying.
Oh my god, I was laughing my fucking head off at this. And Excalibur's like, oh, those crocodile tears, or Tony maybe, but oh my god, this was so funny. Doing the WrestleMania 24 HBK Shawn Michaels thing. But Daniels kicks out, and he can't believe it. He goes to hit something else. Daniels levels him, and Christopher Daniels goes for the best moonsault ever, slips right away, somehow just gets up and he's like, no, I gotta hit this, and he does it. I know this was legit a slip, but he's bleeding. He can't see.
Yeah, he's been staggering about for the last 5 minutes as well. As far as I don't call this a botch. In a fight, you're gonna fall over and stuff. Everything's not pretty, and I think it makes sense for a dude who's just been wrestling for the last 15 minutes and is bleeding everywhere to not maybe be able to leap up to the top rope. It actually added to the drama of the match for me, to be honest.
Well, Christopher Daniels hits the BME, the best moonsault ever, for a near fall. There's then distraction. You mentioned Don Callis is on commentary, which I think he's great. The Good Brothers are ringside, and they get involved, which they then throw the cold spray bottle, which then is sprayed into the face of Christopher Daniels. And if that wasn't enough, he's then whacked with the can of it into the top of the head where he was bleeding. But he kicks out at 2. Huge pop here. I was like, oh, that definitely got the little crowd going, and I guess the crowd of wrestlers. But this got my attention, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then you just see so much more blood everywhere. Legit. Last week was blood and guts, and there was, for one guy, there was so much blood. And the Bucks have to put him out to the pasture, like they mentioned, and they hit the BTE trigger, and as Kaz tries to stop it, Matt blocks him as Nick pins Daniels in the middle of the ring. The Bucks beat SCU.
I really, really enjoyed this. I thought you can tell these guys know each other so well. The chemistry was great, and I was biting on all those near falls, and Daniels, towards the end there, all his kickouts was just adding to the drama. There was a weird bit early in the match where Rick Knox just stopped counting a pin because Nick Jackson was climbing to the top rope to hit a 450 to break it up. But if Nick landed, he'd have landed on a 5 count. He was so slow. And that bit was a bit like, oh, what's going on?
It looked like Kaz was watching too. So it looked like almost equally as bad, I guess. But Kaz stops to do the move because he catches him and hits him with the Northern Lights to try to pin both. They've done it a million times.
Yeah, I mean it's nitpicking, but I thoroughly enjoyed the match. To be honest, I'd have taken this at the pay-per-view.
Me too.
I think if you did a few more TV matches with SCU and have them maybe in a couple of wars that they're winning. I know they've been having their run on Dark and stuff, but I think you could have built this storyline enough where I think SCU, I might be a bit past them now, but then you think, SCU versus the Bucks for the last time ever?
Right.
Okay.
You should have done it at the pay-per-view.
And I think this could have been a much bigger moment at the pay-per-view, and I was upset at the end that they cut away to the backstage segment.
And then came back after.
Then it came back and it showed, this is what you missed in the break. No, you could have shown us the elite locker room being destroyed after the break. This is a big moment. These guys have teamed together for years.
Yeah.
And you could hear, as this video is being shown, you could hear the crowd chanting SCU and giving them their moment. And I didn't really feel they had that, kind of respect moment, which I thought was earned.
100%. I'm on the same page that, considering now we know where the pay-per-view match is going for the Bucks, this should have been it completely, and then you build it that's it. This is the last time these guys will wrestle. It could be the last time they're a team against the Bucks. They made a name for themselves in those years of the Indies and Ring of Honor and all that stuff. This is the reason this is a company, is because of these guys putting on. Anyone who went to any of these indie shows with the Bucks, SCU related, ROH, definitely that run was so strong there, where you were watching, and if you went to a show, they were the match of the night, these crazy 6-man tags and stuff, because they were killing it. And Daniels, obviously he's older, and he's a producing role here in AEW. Clearly, that's where he might go towards. But I would have preferred. I thought this was awesome. I think this is one of my favorite AEW matches from this year. Full stop.
I really enjoyed it as well. Yeah.
I got into it. It had every aspect of it. It had the emotion where they're playing on, again, as the commentary that really helped. Excalibur, who was selling, these guys wrestled so many times. They know each other. They're friends. This guy, they were at each other's house for Christmas this year, holding each other's babies and shit. They're friends. And now the Bucks are being assholes. And then the whole pretending he's so sad, and then he's not actually. They're crocodile tears. And then I'm sorry, I love you. It's just so funny. But then it had the emotions, and it hit all marks on me for everything. Literally, I think this could be on short list for match of the year, maybe for tag matches at least, for Dynamite matches at least, because it was really good. I was capped at this. I was I didn't expect it to kind of do what it did, but this is what I like in my wrestling.
Chris Leone in the Twitch chat makes a good point. You could have, if you wanted Mox and Kingston against the Elite, you could have them against the Good Brothers at Double or Nothing, and then have this match there. Yeah,
this should have this could have main evented the pay-per-view, honestly, realistically, because the story behind it. Everyone who supports AEW knows the story of these teams. So it's kind of a missed mark there, but for whatever reason, they're going forward with a different thing. But I still loved what this was. I love the outcome of this. And what happens with Kaz?
Yeah, I think, I mean, he looks great. He's still got a lot of gas in the tank, I think. But I don't see him being in anything too serious. But you need people like that, especially on Dark and Elevation, those kind of shows with the younger people, like QT students and things. I think someone like a Kaz would be great to give these guys reps and stuff. But
true.
And you can always do a TNT title match here and there and that kind of thing.
I hope Daniels doesn't. I guess Daniels might retire, like wrestling-wise.
I think he might do the odd match here and there, but I reckon he's winding down.
Because, man, back in like TNA days, that guy could go.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely got to do a best match ever, Christopher Daniels, down the line, because stuff he did with AJ was awesome. We go to, well, you mentioned that they cut away from their celebration. Or, sorry, not the celebration, I guess the breakup.
Commiseration.
Yeah. And it just cuts to Mox and Kingston, whose locker room has been trashed. And they're like, clearly the Bullet Club guys did this. Right?
No, they went to the Elite's locker room and...
Oh, sorry, they went to the... sorry, I'm so confused. Mox and Kingston go and they trash the room. And then it comes back from commercial and they're like, here, this is what you missed. And yeah, I was like, could you just not have waited?
Just do it the other way around.
Could you just waited?
Just linger on these guys.
Because then you just have Daniels and Kaz like hugging it out and bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels going out on the blade, doing the job. We go to... So Kingston and Mox trash their room and...
Yeah.
And they're the good guys. We go to Christian Cage, who's backstage with Dasha. He says, Taz, you were once a bad man, the baddest man, but now you won't step through those ropes, but I do. And, well, Tony Khan gave me an open contract next week, so why don't you send any member of Team Taz, and I'll be waiting for any of them. You could send Brian Cage, you could send Ricky Starks. Oh, wait, he doesn't say that. There's someone else who says that later.
That's Cage, yeah.
Everyone hates Team Taz. Everyone hates everyone in this show. He says, at Double or Nothing, there will be a casino battle royal, and the winner of that gets a title match whenever they want, so I'm going to be in that match. But he's interrupted by Evan Bourne. He walks in.
Matt Sydal.
Why did I write Evan Bourne? God damn it. Matt Sydal, no Mike Sydal. He says, hey, I used to be Evan Bourne.
Yeah.
Matt
Sydal. All those was next.
Yeah, sorry. Watching different shows with different names and doing podcasts confuses the hell out of me. Do I call Pac Neville, Adrian Neville, Pac? Bastard. What's his name?
Don't even get us started on Lord Tensai.
Yeah, listen to our Backlash 2001 review about how many gimmicks and names. I believe it was 11 or 12.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to us go through them. So Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal, interrupts Christian and says, I'm going to be in the Battle Royal too. And actually, you already have an opponent next week because I've answered that open contract. It's going to be me versus you. And then I'll see you in the Battle Royal.
I want to know where this open contract is. Is it just like a corkboard backstage that Christian for Taz puts on there and Matt Bourne's
and
like,
thought no one's gonna...
I'm going to sign that.
That should be on Being the Elite.
I think I just called him Matt Bourne.
God damn it.
Now you got me going.
That's Doink.
Yeah. Well, he could have signed it too. It's an open contract.
So
I think he's dead. So
yes, rest in peace. So Sydal says, I'm going to beat you next week, and then I'll see you in the Casino Royal and Battle Royal, and I'm going to win that too. Christian says, oh, yeah, it's been a year since you debuted in the Casino Battle Royal, and, well, hopefully, things are better for you this year. But I bet things will fall into place for you this time around. And Sydal says, yeah, well, don't worry. It won't be a Hall of Fame-worthy surprise. I think that's a shot meaning because he's not in the Hall of Fame, Christian.
Right.
I think that's what he was kind of digging at him there. And then saying, I signed the contract. I'll see you next week, yada, yada, yada. So next week, Sydal versus Christian.
I'm trying to remember last year, but they said here the winner will get a title shot at a time of their choosing. Whereas I thought last year they kind of just did it a couple of weeks later. I can't remember if they called their shot or not. But that's say like Christian could potentially win this and put it off for a whole pay-per-view or something.
Is it going to be like Money in the Bank? You can cash in at any time?
I don't think you can cash in.
He
but
said it.
I think it's... No, I don't think you can like run in after a match to do it. But I think it seems a bit longer stretched out rather than last time where the match was kind of 2 weeks after on Dynamite.
So what I'm saying is, should they just make it like the Money in the Bank?
Should they? Yeah, why not? Why not?
They
did other stuff from Raw tonight, so...
I think like in WWE they have really good concepts. Like the Royal Rumble's this crazy idea as a concept. The Money in the Bank came years later, and then now it's like a staple and it's engraved in wrestling fans and stuff. It's too bad you don't have someone coming up with something like that. So maybe this casino chip thing could be like that. The weird thing is, Sky walked around with the chip.
That was
he won the chip.
Giant butt ring or whatever it was.
Oh, that was the Sonic. Yeah. Like donut or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with the giant chip. You walk around with it and you...
I guess.
It's just weird. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if it's as cool as a briefcase.
You can really cash that in, can't you? A chip.
This is a chip.
Yeah.
True. You cash in contracts. You don't. Cash in Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
A briefcase. You would cash in all your chips. We're on to something here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just literally a tiny little chip.
Is it one?
Hold on to it, and then when you go to give it in, you just flip it.
Just give it to Kenny.
I'm challenging you.
Or Orange Cassidy, whoever wins.
Yeah, Orange, obviously. Yeah. We go to Orange Cassidy, who comes out. This next match, Orange Cassidy versus Pac, formerly known as Adrian Neville, will be the number one contenders match for Kenny's world title. So this is the eliminator match, Pac versus Orange Cassidy. So right away, Orange hits Pac with the beach break and tries to pin him for a 2 count. There's then picture-in-picture where they're brawling all around the outside. Pac is being really mean to him. He's stomping on his head in the corner. He hits a flying drop kick, kips up like it's nothing. Then another one. Then another flying missile drop kick, sending Orange Cassidy bouncing around like a rag doll. He goes for the Black Arrow, but Orange Cassidy does his comedy rolling away thing and then does it again and rolling all over the place. When Orange gets up, he hits this crazy like luchador-style quesadora into this leg trap for a near fall. There's then a super kick from Pac and a sit-out powerbomb that just kills Orange Cassidy here for a near fall. There's then, is it Don Callis, who decides to come out and start interrupting a match on a microphone. And he says, we want a winner here. We want a winner. It's because Orange Cassidy had been laid out from Pac. But when the ref is distracted, Kenny Omega with the AEW title smacks Pac behind the head, exits the ring. The ref starts to count to 10, so it's a double count out. Therefore, there is no winner of this match. And Don Callis and Kenny Omega says, well, we don't have a winner, and I can't be facing losers at a pay-per-view. So I guess looks like I'll have the night off, so we can do anything we want.
Kenny's clearly never watched wrestling in his life.
Ever in his entire life.
Because this never works out too well.
He is celebrating. They're talking about how they're having a good time. But then out comes Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone just like walking out here like, hey,
looking
guys.
sheepish.
Yeah, it's really funny. He's like, hey, how's it going? We actually just heard from Tony Khan, and you will have a title match, and you're going to be facing both of these guys in a 3-way match at Double or Nothing. And Don and Kenny are like, let's get out of here. You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know me, Tony. Let's go back to Winnipeg. And they leave.
And he goes, heel tunnel, Don.
Heel tunnel.
Yeah, he said that as he walked out.
I liked how he also says that on their night off that they're planning, since he thought he didn't have to.
Yeah.
That he's gonna fuel up the Harley Kawasaki Ninjas and go on a road trip. But they're not gonna be able to do that because
no, not anymore.
He's got to have a match.
I don't think I like this. It felt very tropey. Like this is let's open up the wrestling storybook and pick one. You know, it's it's triple threat. Okay, yeah. It's let's do the interference thing. The match was fun. Like these two are fun, but didn't really get going enough for me before we went to the Kenny stuff. I just found this a bit lazy.
It felt very WWE.
Yeah. The match, like, I can't say anyone would have really thought we're going to get Pac versus Orange Cassidy versus Kenny Omega. It feels
crazy,
odd, and we haven't done a triple threat yet, have we, or any kind of multi-man for the title. So this is different for AEW. Yeah, I'm sure the match will be great, but feels a bit left field, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I really didn't like how they got there. And Kenny this week was on the side of a bit too comedy for me. Yeah.
He doesn't ever border the line. He's always like over the line really far. This is fine. I think I'm like, this didn't really do too much for me, but I think the match could bang, so.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I do with NXT right now. I'm kind of interested in most of the other stuff apart from the world title.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very similar.
Which is odd because Kenny, you'd think I'd be maybe a bit more into that. But I'm sure the match will be really good. It's three like great talents.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe whoever wins the chip earlier in the night can go and cash in and enter themselves into the match.
Make it a 4-way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Christian.
Yeah.
Evan Bourne.
Yes.
Whoever wins this thing, maybe that's something we didn't thought about.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Book it. Someone crazy's gonna win the Battle Royal, Sting or something. I don't know. Christian, I think makes sense. I don't know. Well, we go to the Young Bucks, and they're upset because their locker room is trashed, and they said, "Who did this?" It had to be those guys. And the Good Brothers say, "How could they trash this place? This is our circle. Right here is this circle where we praise the Lord each and every night. And they come in here and trash this place? How dare they?" They say they disrespect us. Well, we got plans for Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. But next week, we'll show you what kind of champions we are. Next week, we'll face the number one contenders in the tag division, the Varsity Blondes. Yeah, Pillman. Yeah, you want to be just like your dad, huh? Well, we'll show you next week. Then mentions that they're good Christian men and that Double or Nothing, Moxley and Kingston are going to have an invite to a super kick party. So they're challenging.
Match is pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, that's confirmed for Double or Nothing. But next week is the Varsity Blondes versus the Bucks.
Are we getting Gallows tank top for this summer?
Gallows, what was he wearing?
It was a tie-dye tank top.
It was lit.
Saying Good Brothers Summer.
Good Brother Summer?
Yeah. I will put an order right now.
That's totally going off White Boy Summer.
Island Day. Of course it is. Island Days.
Yeah.
All right. AEWshop.com. Then.
Good Brother Summer?
Yeah.
That's not, I feel like that's problematic. I don't.
What's problematic about
Good
that?
Brother with the Good Brothers. It's really funny. It's totally going off Chet Hanks' White Boy Summer, which that is problematic, but still, that is so ridiculous. I love their look. Their look is great.
Yeah.
The Good Brothers. You hate them.
No,
like,
I don't.
No, like.
Oh yeah.
Like,
they're just
Like you.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, you have to hate them, but they're so funny. So. Varsity, we know we mentioned briefly on UpNXT yesterday night talking about NXT, but we talked about Dark Side of the Ring with Brian Pillman, and we were both like, oh, we're fully behind this dude. Like Brian Pillman Jr., after watching him talk about his dad and his story and how wrestling's this family he's got, and now I'm just like, dude, win the title. Yeah, we just want this guy to be like the best. So I'm glad that he's getting a little bit of a shine next week with him and Griff and their new cheerleader.
Yes.
Is it Julie?
Oh,
blanking.
She wrestled last week, didn't she?
Yeah. I'm
listen,
blanking.
Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark with John
John
Cena,
Cena,
covering all dark and elevation and all that stuff. He's the expert, but he's usually in our Twitch chat, but he went to bed, so.
The audio was really off in this bit, wasn't it?
It was weird, yeah.
Maybe it's because Eddie and John broke it when they smashed up the place.
Oh, yeah, true.
Maybe they smashed the mics a little.
The cheerleader is Julia Hart. Thank you, Maddie B, in the chat. Not Marty B. Maddie B.
Not Marty B.
Yeah, bless
okay.
Maddie B. New World Champ, Patreon.
Yeah.
Well, Julia Hart is the new cheerleader in the Varsity Blondes, and I think that makes sense. It kind of fits the whole package there. It makes them look like a whole team. Another group.
Yes.
But I like it. I couldn't say more nice things about that Dark Side of the Ring, and I want to root for this guy. So
pretty much everyone has a good match against the Bucks. So
let's go.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, let's go. We go to Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order backstage in their hangout in their bar in their clubhouse. They say that Hangman Page says that he was the number one ranked for the world title, but then Cage beat Page.
Yes.
Brian Cage beat Hangman Page, and Page went from ranked number 1 to 5 just with one loss.
Yeah. And Alan Angels with the line of the night.
It's okay, buddy. Being 5 ain't that bad.
I laughed. This was great. What a wonderful line.
And
This was so funny.
They're all like, shut up, 5. Shut up. He's basically Meg.
Yeah.
He says, I have a target on my back. And, well, Cage shot and took his shot, and it worked out for him. He knocked me down a peg there. But I have a challenge for him. I challenge you, Brian Cage, for one more match against me to really earn that ranking, because you won't have Taz or Ricky Starks. I love Ricky Starks. Bless Ricky Starks. A little nod there. I'm not sure if Ricky Starks' injury was because of this match with Hangman. That neck spot would make sense.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Ricky Starks.
Say he's got like a fracture in his neck and should be out for a few months.
But like, okay, well that's good. Like that's good. A neck is a neck, so
yeah,
it's scary. So I'm happy that they're saying that a few months or something.
I think set out for 6 months maybe. I read it yesterday. But yeah, that bad injury. Neck.
Yeah, well, I hope he's good. And Paige kind of winking to him like, hey, I'm rooting for you too, throwing him out. But Paige is getting to is Paige says, Brian Cage, earn this spot. Face me one-on-one. No shenanigans, no one ringside, just one-on-one to see who is the number 1 ranked here for that spot. So it's really double or nothing for you. And then John Silver goes, that's the name of the pay-per-view. Oh, that's the name of the pay-per-view. You said it. Did you do that on purpose? Did you do that on purpose? Oh, so smart.
So what if Page wins, he'll be ranked number 1? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So do 2, 3, and 4 not have a say in this?
Fuck them. That's what I say.
All right.
Wouldn't it be Orange Cassidy and Pac? They're the other ones that are ranked high.
So yeah, they'd be So they're already, so this is essentially number 1 contenders match, I assume, is essentially kind of what it is.
Yeah, I would imagine that Hangman versus Brian Cage is a number 1 contenders. The rankings match is what this is. But yeah, I'm actually excited for this. So double or nothing, Page versus Cage.
Yeah, that should be good. Kind of been scratching our heads a bit where Page is going, but this makes sense. Get his own back against Cage, and this time hopefully we know Team Taz there.
Yeah, one-on-one.
Maybe he'll take the FTW title as well.
We go to MJF and the Pinnacle. He comes out with women on each arm like Ric Flair and a king's crown on his head. And he comes down to the ring with Pinnacle and Tully. They're all looking fly in their nice shirts and their suits. Nice pink suit for MJF here.
Yeah, you think I could rock that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? You think you could do it?
I'd need the tan first. You can't rock pale pink if you're pale.
Okay, well, maybe not.
After those island days in our Good Brothers
In
Summer
the good...
tanks, I'll get the pink suit. I do like pink, though. I like wearing pink.
Just don't show up to an UpNXT podcast recording in a salmon suit. It would make me feel very uncomfortable.
Only if I say this is my last show,
yeah. Beat me up.
Yeah.
It's what I do. So the Pinnacle looking really snazzy here. Attention to detail. On the plus side, Tully, on his collar of his suit jacket or whatever he was wearing here, has, you know how like your collar of a suit jacket or a shirt there is like kind of pointy?
The lapel?
Yeah, the lapel here. He's got bedazzled like little jewels going up and down it to make it look like mountaintops. Because
like
they're the Pinnacle.
Oh.
All right? That was the attention to detail on the good side.
Right.
Attention to detail on the bad side. Tully is decked out in this great suit, the great top, the great pants, and he's wearing like New Balance shoes. All the other guys are in their alligators, and this guy's in his
Says
fucking...
the man who I'm pretty sure rocked Converse to a wedding.
Even that would have looked better than what he was wearing. They were the wrong color of what he was wearing. They were completely off. If you got a black suit and like fresh black chucks, it goes together. But what he was, I was like, oh,
you're wearing a nice suit. You're wearing leather shoes. Come on.
Yeah, but he was wearing like gray, like like Walmart shoes.
Yeah, just his brand shoes.
It stood out, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But he still looked fresh in the pointy pinnacle bedazzled stuff. But yeah, MJF grabs the stick. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am the new GOAT, the greatest of all time." He says that we were number 1 on cable last week because I am the new demo god. In fact, we even broke records in Canada on TSN because of this guy, the Canadian god, Sean Spears.
That's why I tuned in.
Because of Sean Spears.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is like clearly a great joke because everyone's like, huh? You mean Chris Jericho? No. The Canadian god, Sean Spears. Name dropping TSN there. I guess the ratings were good for Canada. Too bad they can't get their mobile thing
Just
to
get an app
pause.
where you can rewind and pause. And
Pause.
stuff.
It would be
Come
great.
on.
It would be
Pretty
really.
sure Sportsnet you can, but TSN you can't, or something like that.
Yeah. Come on,
Yeah,
guys. Get
not
it
good
together,
enough.
TSN. MJF continues. Well, look, all it took was a little bit of a fall for Chris Jericho, and he's out. One guy stabbed me, and he's arrested. The other guy took a bit of a tumble, and he's injured. And they want a rematch? My answer is no. We took everything from you guys, says Tully as he grabs the mic here. He says, we took everything. We took the beating. There was blood. There was guts. But we beat you. We have that victory. And now, boys, the Pinnacle is on top. I've got 5 prettiest women in this city that this city offers. And then he pulls out Rolexes. There's like these women just hanging around. There's like, it's a celebration, I guess.
I want Tully to organise my parties.
Yeah, I don't know if I do.
What, get fancy watching a woman?
on
Tully? On Uncle Tully?
It's just like people criticize AEW for like some of their, what was the beach episode where they had like the lifeguard,
Yeah.
the bikini girls and stuff.
Holy shit.
JR. Yeah. So I can see people being like, are we moved past this? But it's funny because it's Tully. I don't know. I'm a guy. It's like, it's just weird. But overall, Tully kind of felt like he was a little all over the place for his promo. I was a little like, okay, I get to the point. You got him girls, watches, and
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't mind it. I think he sounds good.
But then...
I just think the whole segment was all over the place.
Yeah, it already felt all over the place. But then there's a honking noise. Who's honking? They all say. And in comes, like, kind of off to the side area where we've seen some cars pull up before. And it's the Inner Circle in some sort of car and contraption. But it's only Sammy and Ortiz, like who we've seen earlier. And they say, we want our rematch. And MJF says no, because Jericho is never going to show up here again. He's injured. And Jericho shows up. He's right there in the car. I could see him before MJF said it, but he shows up and he says, we want our rematch. And he says no, so he says, all right, Sammy, spray him. So they reveal that they are on a truck with a hose attached to, a fire hose attached to not a little bit of the bubbly, but a lot of the bubbly. As Sammy sprays the Pinnacle with champagne or sparkling wine and sprays them all down, ruining their nice suits and their Rolexes or whatever they got, and just ruining their moment. And then it pisses them off so much that MJF grabs the mic as he's covered in bubbly. He says, all right, you want a rematch? I'll give you a rematch. How about at Double or Nothing in the match you lost last year? Stadium Stampede. But if you lose, the Inner Circle have to break up forever. Double or Nothing. Take it or leave it. So Jericho accepts. So the Inner Circle, Stadium Stampede, and the Pinnacle. But what was this?
I did not like this. There was a line earlier from Tully where he's saying, no, we're not fighting you. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
It's war game. It's blood and guts. That's the
over.
end. That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Blood and guts, and we won. We won the match. You surrendered. You gave up. You quit. That's the end of the story. Part of me was like, there was like a double meaning. It's like, once you quit, that was the end. Everything that happened after that last week, the story already ended. We'll forget about that. But I do kind of feel like that. Like, Blood and Guts should be the pinnacle of a feud.
Right.
You know? But then this whole spraying thing, I'm going to say the same thing as I did last week. Like, last week they did a stunt. Did it look as good as Shane McMahon at Backlash 2001? No. Did this look as good as Austin with the beer truck? No. It was like a puny little spray from a little car. You know, and most of the time it was spraying over their head. It just felt, again, it was like the America thing. It's like, we've seen this so many times now.
Yeah.
I found it pretty lame, to be honest. And I think the Pinnacle looked like dorks every week. Even though they won Blood and Guts, I still feel they look kind of dorky. I think the match will be fun. I really enjoyed Stadium Stampede last year. I wonder how they're going to do it. I imagine they're going to film it the night before, which means you're going to have the crowd, a full live crowd there again, watching something on video.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Unless you're going to try and integrate it in amongst the crowd and do it live, and therefore it will be different. I don't know.
You could do that. That would probably
Maybe.
be a better move. Because the crowd will eat it a lot, like be so upset if you do that again. It's probably the main event.
I don't see how else you do it.
It's the main event, I would say.
No. Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big epic match. It main evented last year.
True, but last year you didn't have a crowd.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. But the match and the stipulation, like, could this be the end of the Inner Circle? It gives it a bit more weight. But I felt Jericho's back way too soon. Way too soon. Sure, the bump looked terrible, but I wonder if it went according to plan. Would he have been back this week?
Yeah.
They kind of
had a cast.
They kind of had to build the match for Double or Nothing. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this.
I like the Inner Circle guys. I like how Jericho's got another Inner Circle like Motley Crue inspired T-shirt or something, but a classic rock band style shirt. But it felt so like, yeah, it's like how many times? Then we've seen Kurt Angle with the milk truck, right? Like it was just, it's just like didn't need to happen. It definitely didn't need to happen on this show, but
this wasn't as good as the milk truck either.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's kind of weird, but the other thing that it is nitpicking is like they spray. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
On the truck, it's like Sammy, I think Ortiz and Jericho.
Hager.
Was Hager there too? Yeah. And so it's like they're outnumbered.
Santana's in prison.
Yeah, and like the Pinnacle are just a little wet, and then they don't want to go over there and beat them up. They just like lay around in the stuff, and their women run off. So it was just like, oh, okay, it was weird. You could have just fought them.
Like once they'd stopped spraying, you
could have just beat them up.
Could have easily
because there was only
them.
they weren't even all there.
Like, oh, you.
That's just like Jamie in the Twitch chat says you guys didn't mention the fact that when Tully says, and I got the 5 prettiest women this city has to offer, MJF goes, they're just okay. It's just funny as fuck. He's such a dick. Yeah. I love it. So Inner Circle, Stadium Stampede against the Pinnacle. Double or Nothing. I'm excited for the match because I thought last year was a lot of fun, but this was weird. This didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the match. I did enjoy last year's, but I think it came at a time when wrestling was in that weird empty arena setting. We were just starting this lockdown thing and everyone was depressed. Now having crowds back and things, I don't know how I'd feel about a 20-minute Cinematch unless you do something completely different from last year.
Yeah, it's got to be a little different. Yeah, for sure. We go to JR with a interview pre-recorded with Britt Baker, who says, JR, you said it yourself. I'm the baddest bitch on the block, and everyone knows what happened when Sheeta busted my nose and made my face bloodied. It was on T-shirts. It was everywhere. It's going to be very poetic, Sheeta. The monster you made dethrones you. She says that after this whole year, she's become now this next level character that she wasn't before. Now she is the baddest bitch. So unless you kill me, I'm beating you because I'm fucking hard to kill, as it's censored out there, but great. She says, JR says, hey, earlier today we did a Forbes photo shoot for an upcoming article in Forbes, and you interrupted. And then it shows like clips, and it was like all these guys with Tony Khan and girls posing, but then Britt Baker comes out and grabs Sheeta and is like, oh, I'll pose for this. And they're like, what? And she's, what was the deal with that? And Britt says, well, look, it's going to take a while for this Forbes article to come out. And they should just have current champions when the article drops. So in 3 weeks, I'll be champion.
And that is something that's happened before with magazines and stuff. Like WWF magazine often accidentally would spoil the finish because it would be released early or something, and they would photograph the new champion and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think these sit-down interviews are great. I think Ross is always good in these positions, and Britt is just so good on the mic.
She continues here. She says, "Paint me as the villain, but I'll sign the best art that comes from it. This women's division here has been on life support. I'm the pulse. You don't need a machine when you're the pulse. So this division will live on its own when I become champion, and that's a guarantee." JR says, "A guarantee? Guaranteed DMD."
Yeah.
Bitch.
Bitch.
She didn't say that.
Yeah, I like this. I thought she sounded great. I think it's absolutely time for her to be champ, and I'm quite looking forward to the match, actually.
Yeah, 100%. One of the best promos on this show.
Yeah. This photo shoot thing was cool as well. Like, it was. This happened earlier in the day. It was like, oh, okay. This a bit different.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't see all the other people who was in it. I know Cody had to be right in the front.
I think FTR was in there.
Cody was there. Sheeta was there.
Yeah.
Tony Khan, obviously. Yeah. Who would you put in yours?
Of AEW?
In Forbes.
My talent?
Yeah. If you had to showcase.
Well, you should have...
I'd put Leroy Johnson, Scorpio Sky.
Sunny Kiss.
Yeah. That's who I would put on those promotional posters. Because they don't clearly do any of that. It's all these fucking white people. All elite.
Yes.
I know that's a topic lately with these ads that have been out lately. Jeez. And it's like, oh, okay. It is kind of like an apparent. You're like, that is strange, but the people they've been pushing are all these people. But again, it just goes back to that's who they're pushing, who they're focusing on. So, yeah, just a little interesting look there on AEW. But back to this. I'm excited for Sheeta versus Baker.
Me too.
At the pay-per-view. So I'm excited for that. And then we go to our next match, which is Thunder Rosa versus Jasmine Allure. And they mentioned that, Britt Baker has the title shot, but realistically it's Thunder Rosa who beat Britt Baker. Don't tell Lance Storm that.
I don't recall her beating.
Did that ever happen?
When did that happen?
Did it happen? Check the wins and losses. Check the record books.
Yeah,
wait. You can't. That's right. Thunder Rosa makes really light work here of poor Jasmine, who hits her with like this, almost like the Okada style beach break, neck breaker kind of thing there. But
she does the shoulder breaker and then holds on and hits the Thunder. Fire Thunder driver.
Yeah, look cool, but quick work here.
Afterwards, she's in the camera shouting like, "It's my time, it's my time," and commentary were mentioning that she wants a title match against Serena Deeb. So it seems like she's not going for the AEW Championship anytime soon. But Serena Deeb, Thunder Rosa at some point, unless she. What were you telling me earlier?
Is this true? I think this is true. I could be wrong, but MLW did a thing where they're like, is it MLW or NWA? Sorry,
NWA.
Not LW. NWA. Thunder Rosa in NWA. If she loses this specific match, she can only wrestle in NWA.
This isn't like a fake article, is it? Like
it could be. It fucking sounds like it is, but it sounds like it's something that they've done on their show. I think it's. I'm blanking on who the match is against, but if Cena was awake right now, he'd be yelling at us. But
that damn Roti. Oh no, Thunder Rosa's NWA match has implications for AEW.
So if she loses, she's not allowed to wrestle in AEW anymore.
I think so.
So Billy Corgan, is it Billy Corgan who still runs that?
Yes.
He's gonna be like booking her to lose. We need you. We go to a promo that definitely didn't need to be on here because I feel like they just copy pasted the same one from last week and the week before that and the week before that.
Yeah, we have a recap from either Dark or Dark Elevation. Listen to Shot in the Dark of Mark Sterling, MJF's lawyer, offering his representation to Jade. But Jade says, "I will listen to offers of representation, but I don't need any representation because I'm my own boss. But I might want representation, but I don't want any representation. 3rd week in a row, same promo.
Yeah.
Does she want representation or not?
It's like I want a man. Hey, do you want to go out with me? No. I want a man. Hey, I'll go out with you. No.
I'll listen to offers, but I want to be single forever. But I want a man, but I want to be single.
It's like those people. I knew a guy I worked with who owned a restaurant in Toronto, and I worked with him in radio. I produced for him a little while. He went on, was it Shark Tank or those shows? What are those shows? What's the show?
Like Dragon's Den?
Dragon's Den, but Shark Tank is the Canadian one. He goes on Dragon's Den, Shark Tank. He goes on 3 different times, tries to make them get them to offer and stuff like that, and then turns them down. So he goes on once, turns them down, goes again, turns them down. 3rd time, they go, look, you've been on the show 3 times. You're just trying to get famous. You don't even want any of our offers. Get the fuck out of here and never come back. And he never went back.
What I find funny is, do you know of any other wrestlers that don't have a manager talking about managers? No. So she comes...
She just really wants a manager.
She's like, everyone's talking about me having a manager. It's like, no one's talking about... You're talking about you having a manager, but you don't want a manager.
She's more indecisive than me. I'm very indecisive. I wouldn't know if I wanted a manager or not, apparently. Do I want a manager? I don't know, but I'm that bitch. She's not the baddest bitch, but she's that bitch.
She's just that bitch.
It's just weird. It's like...
she's her own bitch, she said this week.
Right, yeah. Well, she's that bitch. We go to our main event. A little video first is Darby Allen, the TNT champion. He's driving, shows him driving. After getting attacked last week, thrown down some stairs, which looked wild. He's going to Seattle, his place where he lived, in skate parks and abandoned houses and stuff. And he starts cutting a promo on Miro, his opponent. He says, Miro, what have you done since being here? You played some video games, and then you were the best man. And, well, the world's going to see that I'm not buying what you're selling. You generic son of a bitch. Ooh. So we go to the main event. Miro, the challenger, against Darby Allen for the TNT title. Darby putting the title on the line. But like we mentioned, Darby was attacked by Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page last week. So he's not fully healed. And he's got like tape down his shoulders and back because he got thrown down some stairs.
Yeah.
So right away, before the bell even rings, before Darby's even in the ring, he's attacked by Miro, who's looking like a rabid animal. Should be noted that Miro already has TNT title on his trunks.
Okay, you noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the red and gold, like the old, the original TNT title.
And the commentary are like, we asked him about this before his match, before tonight, and he said that that's because he guarantees he's winning.
Dress for the job you want.
Yeah, he's like, I know I'm already going to be champion, so it's fine. Miro is just beating the piss out of Darby here, throwing him around. Doesn't even have his like ring jacket off, like his entrance gear off. He's just throwing him around here, beating him up ringside, and like yelling at the camera, and am I underwhelming? Throwing him, beating him up. I guess he's talking to Vince. He hits a belly to belly from like the outside of the crowd back into the ringside area over the guardrail and just beating him up. Finally in the ring, the ref says, Darby, can you go? Can you go? And Miro's just like stomping around the ring like a monster. And Darby's like, yeah, just go, ring the bell. So the ref rings the bell, and there's a huge thrust kick to the face, but he kicks out at 2. You thought it was over right here. Miro beats him up, but Darby shows some resiliency coming back here. The underdog hits a cannonball tope flying at Miro. This was nuts because of the size of Miro. Darby just bounces off him.
So much speed as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He goes up again for the coffin drop, but gets caught in a German suplex, which just looks deadly. They go to picture in picture when if you are someone who gets too into the commercials instead of watching the PMP, you would have missed all ego Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky come out and beat up Sting. They distract him and clip his knee, and then they run off like Two-Face and the Riddler in Batman Forever. And then we come back and they're like, yeah, Sting got beat up. Like, that sucks. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
What the hell happened here? And Miro's just beating Darby up, throwing him around. There's a sleeper from Darby who tries to get him in there. He throws Darby at a wall on the outside at one point. He rips the tape off the shoulder, off the back, and then just starts to beat him up around, throwing him up in the air. At one point, Darby's still in this, but he looks over. Sting's now back on his feet, looking concerned, and Darby goes to fist bump him. So his dad, Sting,
okay, Dad.
fist bumps him back. Darby gets to his feet. He slaps Miro in the face. This doesn't phase him. He goes after him. Darby goes for the coffin drop again. Another German, but he lands on his feet. But Miro overpowers him, gets tired of beating up Darby, so he locks in the accolade, the camel clutch, but this time now...
Game over.
Yeah, the game over. Bending him backwards even more, just torquing his body. Darby Allin is forced to submit. I guess he's passed out, really, here. The ref calls it, and new TNT champion, Miro.
I really enjoyed this. I think finally this is exactly what Miro should have been from day one. Darby's actually a great guy for him to be against because I think it just shows Miro can do some pretty cool rough big man spots, just throwing Darby all over the place. Yeah, I liked it a lot. And then the sequences towards the end when Darby started getting his hope spots back, those stunners, the coffin drop into the suplex I thought was awesome. Some great near falls towards the end, but the finish, the kind of super version of the game over, the accolade bending back, it made complete sense here, I thought, for Miro to win. I think Darby's had his run, and I think he's been elevated by this championship run, and it's time for him to move on to something else. And I think it's time to give Miro a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We've tried, but it definitely didn't work what they were doing with him before. So to use a game term, this is the reset.
Yeah, I guess so, because I'd say this is the best Miro match I've seen. Best
100%.
Rusev match I've seen. It had a whole story. It made sense. Classic big guy, little guy, and he was just a monster. The stuff where he was stomping around the ring like Godzilla, King Kong was awesome. It had a whole complete story, and I love what Darby's been doing, and he keeps getting better and keeps evolving. He could definitely be a huge star and world champ down the line, but it's a good step for Miro.
For someone who you look at him, and especially you look at him against the size of some of the guys he's been against, like Cage and Miro and stuff, you go, how can I even buy that you should be in this match?
Yeah.
How can I even buy it? You're so tiny. But the way he wrestles, just his speed and just his recklessness, just throwing himself, you do start to buy it. You completely buy in that he can beat these guys. Yeah, Darby's had a great run with this title, but yeah, good time to move on. I think this is the right move.
Yeah, definitely. We want to see what this guy can do, and he proved it here. He had some fire, and he looks like a complete monster. He can have a match with Kip. Oh, Kip's actually injured, right?
Yeah.
He can have title defenses. It seems like his first is going to be up against the Murder Hawk Monster, who comes out with Jake Roberts here, kind of being like, "Hey, I see what you're doing, and I've been dancing around with Sting and Darby a little while, but he's kind of saying I want that." So maybe that's the double or nothing
So it
match.
will be Paige and Sky against Sting and Darby.
Yes.
And then for the TNT title, Miro versus Lance Archer.
Yeah, I want Sting and Darby in an actual match against.
I think they've got to, especially if Stadium Stampede is going to be recorded.
Right.
You need to have... Sting's done enough physicality now that in a tag match,
I bet
he
you
just
it'll
needs
be.
to do Stinger Splash and
They've-
Death Drop and...
They threw him out of. They threw Darby downstairs around the arena. I bet it's another one of these Falls Count Anywhere kind of filmed
Maybe.
things.
You think it'll be filmed?
I want it to be just a match.
I think it should. I think if you're doing two filmed things in front of this is a full crowd, this
Yeah.
one. I don't know.
And
about
it's pay-per-view.
that. Yeah, I think this will be a proper tag. And then Big Laz wrestling against Miro and Archer. Just a lot of meat. A lot
Yeah.
of meat slapping.
I can't say I'm too excited for that, but I'm excited to see what other matchups Miro can do with the TNT title and where that leads to, and eventually who takes it from him and stuff like that. But that title is allowed to make Darby a next step up. That's helped him, and Sting. Obviously now they can go off into that feud, but it did well for everyone who's held this title so far.
Yeah, I think it has elevated, apart from Cody, really, who's already the guy.
Yeah, it's
but
still.
I'd say even rest in peace, Brody Lee.
Yeah.
He came in, he went for the title, the big title, lost, and it was then kind of the TNT title that really, okay, I can take this guy seriously now.
Yeah.
And had some really good matches with that. Weird show for me.
Yeah, it was like all over the place. Like I mentioned that I really loved that tag match with the Bucks and SCU. Like one of the best matches that I liked from like this year, I think. Honestly, it was a great TV match. But then Yuji Nagata and Jon Moxley starting off the show, that felt like some weird wrestling like wet dream come true here. It was like, what? Why are these guys fighting? But okay, fuck yeah, which was great. But then it had some weird stuff like Cody praising America, fuck yeah, or the weird bubbly bath.
Yeah, the actual wrestling I thought was pretty strong tonight. I really enjoyed the tag and that US Championship match. But yeah, the Cody thing really put me off. The Inner Circle, Pinnacle stuff was terrible.
You don't like America.
Kenny Omega stuff was
weird.
Pretty bad, I thought.
Overall, I enjoyed this episode. I can't lie. I think I'm a little bit higher on this episode than you, but it was definitely the wrestling that made me save it for sure.
But Double or Nothing's starting to come together now. It felt like a week ago we didn't really have a card, and now it's really filling out. So, and interesting, not necessarily matches I'd have expected, which can be a good thing. Like surprise us a bit.
So triple threat: Kenny, Pac, Orange. The tag team, Kingston and Mox versus the Bucks.
Cage Page.
The
women's match.
Oh, Sheeta Baker. Maybe Sting and Darby versus Ego and
I'd
Sky.
assume so.
Stadium Stampede.
Archer Miro.
That's a whole show.
Yeah.
Oh, Cody Gogo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a whole show right there.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. That sounds like
May
a pretty
30th,
good.
so a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, sounds good. So that's AEW from tonight. We will be doing a Double or Nothing watch along. So stay tuned for that coming weeks, and then a post show for that as well, live on Twitch. So look out for our Twitch stuff because we record all our shows like UpNXT and BDElite on Twitch afterwards. We had a little hiccup with our TSN pausing thing this week. Maybe I'll just make sure next time I order Roti on time. Because I thought I had time. It was the chef's fault, the cook's fault.
Never enough time.
Too many cooks.
Yeah.
Never enough time for wrestling.
Not enough cooks, I think, more like.
Yeah,
not enough roti.
That's right. Never enough roti. Yeah. Overall, I this week of wrestling was really great. I liked NXT. I liked AEW. Absolutely. I thought both shows were awesome. And listen to us talk about NXT on UpNXT. Listen to this show. Listen to Shot in the Dark with John Cena covering all the other stuff like AEW Dark Elevation, NXT UK, ROH. He just watches it all and cherry picks and lets you know what he likes and what stood out to him and results. And listen to all the Patreon shows that we do as well. And stay tuned for an update on when our Disney sing-along of Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
We got to plan that. We didn't plan it, but
we're got Batman Begins coming out soon as well.
We're doing all the shows, guys.
Yeah.
So follow us at UpNXT Podcast on Twitter and Instagram for all the updates.
Job this lockdown's been extended, I guess.
Oh yeah, this lockdown just got extended in Canada, in Toronto
weeks.
Here. So we're just
June now. maybe June.
You can't hold me inside. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm a wild thing. Make your heart sing.
Normally we'd be taking calls at the end of the show. We've gone quite late tonight because we did start late.
Yeah.
So, but yes, reminder to all patrons, we do like to hear from you. So please call in on a Wednesday night. We'd love to hear from you.
Chris Leone in the Twitch chat right now is asking, what is a roti?
Oh, it's like Indian like curry.
Yeah.
In like a flatbread, but like wrapped like a nice parcel.
Like a peasant.
So
and then you
carve
open
it with
it
a knife and fork.
And then it like oozes out.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So
delightful.
good. Yeah.
Delightful.
We love all
food,
different foods here at the BD. Last night, Davey you made like a lit like veggie lasagna.
Lasagna del Fantasma.
Yeah, it was lit. It was awesome. So we were just eating all the good foods. So that's all we can do in a pandemic is just enjoy the little things. Hey, I myself, Braden Harrington. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm at the Brady.
And you can find me at Davey Portman.
Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And SCU might not be together anymore, but they had a good run.
So SC you later?
SC you later. This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davey, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady DVP, the BD elite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet. Brady, DVP, the BD elite.